We're going to make this intake hose, and we're also going to add, optionally, we're going to add in a Solidify modifier if you want to. We're not really going to see the inside of this, so you really don't have to do this, but if you wanted to add a Solidify modifier, I'll show you how to do that. It's pretty easy. Just make it a different object and add a Solidify modifier. That's pretty much it. So we're going to go back to our Blender file. We're going to tab into edit mode, and the first thing we need to do is reposition this 3D cursor. So we're going to do Control 1 to go to back view, and we're going to select these vertices here. So select one, hold shift, select the rest of them. So you should have these four selected, then do Shift S and cursor to selected. It should be basically right where this orange dot is. Then do create and choose circle, change the vertex count to 16 and press enter. Then we're going to do RX and then 90 and press enter. You can see that we have this vertex here in the center, but we actually want to rotate it so it's lined up with the rest of these. So we're going to do RY and then 11.25, so at the bottom left it should say rotation 11.25, and then press enter. Now we can scale this and bring it forward on the y-axis. We want it a little bit in front of this part, so just a little bit in front of this piece. You can do G and Y to move this a little bit closer. That should be fine. We're going to do E to extrude, right click to cancel, and just bring this out a bit. Then we're going to do Control R, left click, and bring this in real close. Then we're going to do Control R again. We're going to left click and bring this in. Control R one more time and bring this in to about here. I want this loop to be a little closer, so I'm going to Alt right click and then just Q to slide it over, and just slide this one over a bit too. Then lastly, we're going to do Control R. We're going to make another loop cut, probably right about there is going to be fine. Then we're going to switch to face select, and we're going to Alt right click here. We're going to do E to extrude, right click to cancel, Alt S to do shrink flatten and just bring this in a bit. Then we're going to do the same here, just Alt right click, E to extrude, right click to cancel, Alt S, and bring this in. This one should be in further than this other one. Then we're going to Alt right click here, we're going to do delete and choose vertices. We're going to select one of these faces, do Control L, Shift D to duplicate, right click to cancel, bring it out on the y-axis. Then do S, Y, -1 to flip it on the y-axis, press enter. Do Control N to recalculate the normals, we're going to bring this out again. Switch to vertex select. We're going to Alt right click on this outer edge loop, or any of these is fine really. Then just do Control plus again, Control plus one more time, so you should have this as the final edge loop selected. Then just bring this out slightly because this part's a little bit thicker on this bottom part than it is over here. Then we're going to Alt right click here, we're going to Alt and Shift right click, and then do Shift and Q to bridge edge loops, or just go to Mesh, Edges, and Bridge Edge Loops. Now we're going to do Control R, we're going to left click and bring this over. Then we're going to do Control R again, left click and bring this over. You can make this about the same width as this, or maybe a little smaller, it's really up to you. We're going to switch to face select, we're going to Alt right click. Then we're going to do E to extrude, right click to cancel, Alt S to bring this out. Then we're going to do Control R, left click, right click, and then Alt S to bring this out again, just to give this a bit of roundness here. So if you want to, you can adjust how far out you bring this. If you want it a little bit shorter, you can just do Control Z a few times until you get back to the faces, do Alt S, and adjust the thickness. Then do Control R, left click, right click, Alt S again, and adjust the curvature of it. Once you're happy with the thickness of this, we're going to go back to face select. We're going to Alt right click here, do delete, and choose faces. You can select this, do Control L, and just bring it back some so it's out of the way. We're going to Alt right click here, do Control plus again, and just do that a few times until you have all these faces down to here selected. Then we're going to do Shift D to duplicate, right click to cancel, bring it out on the y-axis, so bring it all the way past this piece here, so it should be to the left of this piece. Then grab it on the y-axis, hold Control, snap it there so that these vertices will be perfectly in line with those. And then we're just going to repeat that process until we have 5 of these. So we're going to do Shift D to duplicate, right click to cancel, bring it out, let go, grab it on the y-axis, hold Control, snap it there, and I'll just repeat this quickly 2 more times. Once that's done, you're going to select one of these faces, do Control L, grab it on the y-axis, hold Control and snap it there just to finish this off. So now what we have to do is do remove doubles to merge all this together. So we're just going to do C for circle select and select all these parts, or at least one face on each of these pieces. Then you can do Control L to select everything, W, and remove doubles. You should see removed 80 vertices if you did everything correctly. So that's really it for this piece. What you can also do is just turn on smooth shading, go to Tools, smooth shading, and there you go. Another thing you can do to make this look a little nicer is just tab into edit mode, and then we're just going to Alt right click here, Alt and Shift right click to get the corresponding piece. Just do I to do an inset and then just adjust this. You can hold Shift if you want to make a smaller adjustment. And just doing an inset will make this kind of stick out a little bit more to make it look more flat, so it kind of has a little bit more definition to it. You can do the same to other areas, like Alt right click here, and then again get the corresponding edge loop and Alt right click right there, or Alt and Shift right click, and then do I and then hold Shift and just slightly adjust this inward a bit to do a small inset, and you'll just see it kind of sticks out a bit more when you do that. You could also do it for these inner edge loops, like you could Alt right click here, but when I did it on my particular model, at least on this one, I didn't really like the result as well. It kind of made it so that you couldn't really see the edge on the end. So when I undo that with Control Z, you can kind of see like the edge at the end kind of sticks out more when you have it like this. And I kind of like that effect, so I'm not going to add an inset to these right here on my model, but you can try it on yours and see if you like it. You could even try it on some of these inner ones and just see what you like. But I think this looks fine for my model, so I'm just going to leave it like this. So if you want this to have some thickness like it would in the real world, we just have to add in a Solidify modifier, and in order to do that, you just have to do Control L, then you can do P to separate this, choose Selection, tab into Object Mode, select this object, add modifier, and go to Solidify. Then you can just adjust the value, so you can hold Shift and left click and drag to adjust this value to whatever thickness you feel is correct. So something about like that is about the correct thickness on the outer edge, so something like that should probably be fine. The only thing is you're really not going to see the inside of this unless you were to take this model apart. So we don't actually need this modifier. You can see the vertex count kind of goes up quite a bit if you had it in. So that's like almost 2,000 vertices right there, a little bit less than 2,000. So you really don't need this modifier, but since it is a modifier, it's easy to turn on or turn off. So it's really up to you if you want this for the realistic factor or if you want to just turn it off to keep the vertex count low. So I'm probably just going to leave mine off for now, and I'm just going to save this by going to File and Save. Thank you to our awesome Patreon supporters. If you'd like to become a Patreon supporter yourself, head on over to patreon.com/StephenBrooks. Thank you for your support.